Do you freeze when you try to speak English? Do you know the words in your head, but your mouth just won't move? What if the problem isn't your vocabulary, but your confidence and speaking habits? Talking in English without pausing is not about knowing perfect grammar. It's about flow. It's about training your brain to think faster, respond naturally, and speak without fear. Most people pause because they are translating in their head, overthinking mistakes, or worrying about how they sound. In this video, you'll learn simple techniques to improve your fluency, reduce hesitation, and speak English more smoothly and confidently. You don't need to be perfect, you need to be consistent and fearless. Let's fix the pauses and build real speaking flow. Technique 1. Use simple sentences. Fluency is not about using complex grammar. It is about maintaining flow. When you try to build long and complicated sentences while speaking, your brain becomes overloaded. You start thinking about structure, tense, vocabulary, pronunciation, and correctness all at once. This mental pressure slows your response time and creates hesitation. Speaking is a real-time skill. Your brain must process ideas quickly and send them out smoothly. The more complicated your sentence structure, the more processing power is required. When the brain works too hard during conversation, pauses naturally increase. That is why complexity often reduces fluency. Simple sentences reduce mental stress. They allow your thoughts to move faster from your mind to your mouth without interruption. Clear and direct structure makes your speech smoother because your brain does not need extra time to organize difficult grammar patterns. Speaking simply does not make you sound less intelligent. It makes you sound confident, controlled, and natural. Real communication is about clarity and connection, not about proving how much grammar you know. Overcomplicating speech often creates unnecessary hesitation and weakens confidence. When you train yourself to focus on clarity instead of complexity, your fluency improves naturally. Your brain begins to respond faster. Your speech becomes more automatic. You spend less time thinking and more time expressing. The fewer mental barriers you create, the fewer pauses you experience. Flow improves when thinking becomes easier. And when thinking becomes easier, speaking becomes smoother, stronger, and more confident. Fluency grows from simplicity, not complexity. Technique 2. Stop translating in your head. One of the biggest reasons people pause while speaking English is mental translation. When you think in your native language first and then try to convert everything into English, your brain is doing double work. This slows your response time and creates hesitation. Translation adds an extra step in the thinking process. Instead of forming ideas directly in English, your brain must first build the sentence in your own language, then search for equivalent words, grammar, and structure in English. That delay is what causes pauses. Your mind is busy converting instead of communicating. This constant switching between languages increases mental pressure. It forces your brain to operate in two systems at the same time. That extra effort reduces speed, weakens rhythm, and interrupts natural flow. Even if you know the vocabulary, the delay still happens because the thinking process itself is inefficient. Fluent speakers do not translate. They think directly in the language they are speaking. This removes the extra mental layer and allows thoughts to move more quickly and smoothly. When ideas are formed directly in English, the connection between thought and speech becomes shorter and more automatic. Training yourself to think in English reduces pressure. It makes sentence formation faster and more natural. Over time, your brain adapts and begins organizing thoughts in English without conscious effort. This creates smoother rhythm, better timing, and stronger confidence. The goal is to shorten the distance between thought and speech. The fewer mental steps involved, the fewer pauses you experience. When translation disappears, hesitation decreases. And when hesitation decreases, fluency becomes stronger and more natural. The less you translate, the less you hesitate. And the less you hesitate, the more fluent you become. Technique 3. Practice speaking alone every day. You do not need a speaking partner to improve fluency. One of the most effective ways to reduce pauses is daily solo speaking practice. When you speak alone, you remove social pressure and create a safe space to build rhythm and confidence. Consistency is more important than duration. Speaking for a short period every day trains your brain to organize thoughts quickly in English. This daily repetition strengthens the connection between thinking and speaking. Over time, this connection becomes automatic. When you practice alone, your focus should be on flow, not perfection. The goal is to keep speaking continuously without stopping too much. This trains your brain to move forward instead of freezing when searching for words. The more you push through small moments of uncertainty, the stronger your mental flexibility becomes. Solo speaking also improves mental speed. It forces your brain to generate ideas in real time. This reduces overthinking and builds faster response habits. As your brain adapts, hesitation decreases naturally. Fluency is a muscle. If you don't use it daily, it weakens. If you train it consistently, it strengthens. Speaking alone every day builds endurance, confidence, and smoother delivery. Regular practice removes fear. Repetition builds control. And control reduces pauses. Technique 4. Use filler phrases naturally. Pauses often happen because your brain needs a few seconds to organize the next idea. Instead of staying completely silent during that moment, you can use natural filler phrases to maintain flow. This keeps the conversation moving while giving your mind extra time to think. Without these small pauses, your speech can become jerky, interrupted, or uncomfortable to listen to. Controlled fillers prevent that break in rhythm and maintain smoothness. Silence in the middle of a sentence can feel awkward or insecure. Small, natural fillers help you avoid long gaps and maintain presence in the conversation. They act as subtle connectors that keep your speech continuous, so your words feel intentional and confident instead of hesitant or uncertain. Using filler phrases is not about speaking randomly or unnecessarily. It is about controlling the rhythm of your speech and managing mental load. These phrases allow your brain to stay engaged while organizing ideas without freezing. When applied naturally and in moderation, they make your speech sound fluent, relaxed, and deliberate. Balance is essential. Overusing filler phrases can make your speech seem disorganized or unclear. The goal is not to fill every silent moment, but to reduce long, awkward pauses that break flow. When used strategically, filler phrases give your mind a buffer while keeping communication seamless. Fluency is not about speaking without thinking, it is about thinking while still maintaining rhythm. Filler phrases create this space, allowing you to process ideas without stopping the conversation entirely. They reduce pressure, improve confidence, and help your speech become smoother, more natural, and easier for others to follow. Technique 5. Improve your vocabulary in topics, not random words. Learning random words one by one is slow and ineffective. When you speak, you usually talk about specific topics, daily life, work, travel, hobbies, or emotions. If you learn vocabulary organized by topic, your brain can recall words faster because they are grouped logically. This reduces hesitation and pauses, making your speech smoother and more natural. When vocabulary is topic-focused, your mind creates stronger connections between words, ideas, and situations. Your brain begins to recognize patterns, collocations, and common phrases within each topic. This makes it much easier to retrieve the right word instantly while speaking. Instead of searching randomly for words, your brain can access related vocabulary automatically, reducing mental effort. Topic-based learning also makes practice more practical and structured. You can focus on areas of your life that are most relevant and likely to appear in conversation. Over time, your brain becomes familiar with topic-specific expressions and sentence structures, which strengthens fluency and reduces awkward pauses. By organizing your vocabulary around topics instead of random words, you train your brain to think in context rather than in isolation. This allows your ideas to flow naturally and keeps your speech continuous. Vocabulary becomes a tool that supports fluency, not a barrier that slows you down. Technique 6. Practice speed repetition. Speed repetition is about training your brain and mouth to move faster together. When you listen to English and immediately repeat what you hear, you create a strong connection between listening, thinking, and speaking. This reduces hesitation because your brain becomes used to processing English quickly. Your mind learns to respond in real time rather than pausing to translate or search for words. Repeating at the same speed as the speaker pushes your brain to work faster than normal. It strengthens mental reflexes, making word retrieval almost automatic. Over time, your brain begins to anticipate sentence structures and vocabulary, reducing mental pauses. Speech starts to flow naturally, without the need to overthink every word or grammar rule. Speed repetition also improves rhythm, timing, and intonation. Your brain internalizes the natural flow of English, so your sentences start to sound continuous and fluid rather than broken or hesitant. This builds speaking confidence because your brain becomes familiar with both the sound and the pace of natural English conversation. Consistency is essential. Short, daily practice is more effective than long, irregular sessions because it builds lasting neural patterns. Daily repetition at speed trains your mind to think and speak simultaneously. It reduces the need for translation, strengthens fluency, and develops confidence in real-life conversations. The more you practice, the more automatic your English becomes. Pauses decrease naturally, sentences flow smoothly, and your brain responds instantly to new ideas without hesitation. Speed repetition turns slow, careful speech into fast, natural, and confident communication. Technique 7. Accept mistakes. Pauses often happen because you are afraid of making mistakes. You worry that your grammar, pronunciation, or word choice is not perfect. This fear creates tension in your mind and body. It slows your thinking, interrupts the natural flow of your words, and makes speaking feel stressful or overwhelming. The more you focus on perfection, the more your brain hesitates, looking for the right word, instead of letting thoughts move freely. Fluency is not about speaking perfectly. It is about communicating effectively. Your goal is to express ideas clearly and maintain a steady flow, even if a few mistakes occur. When you release the fear of errors, your brain can focus entirely on sentence formation, rhythm, and flow, rather than overanalyzing each word or grammar rule. This dramatically reduces pauses and increases confidence. Accepting mistakes also accelerates learning. Every time you speak, even if imperfectly, your brain gathers data about how sentences are structured, how words connect, and which phrases work naturally. Mistakes become feedback rather than failures. They highlight areas for improvement and push your skills forward. The more you speak without fear, the stronger your fluency becomes over time. Speaking without worrying about errors allows you to prioritize rhythm, timing, and natural flow. Pauses caused by doubt gradually disappear because your mind trusts itself to communicate. You begin speaking more smoothly, thinking less about mistakes, and letting your words come naturally. Communication becomes the focus, not perfection. The more you embrace mistakes, the more automatic your speaking becomes. Fluency grows when fear is removed. Pauses shrink, thoughts move directly to words, and your speech becomes faster, stronger, and more natural. Over time, accepting mistakes transforms hesitation into confidence and makes your English sound fluent and effortless. Speaking English without pausing is not about perfection, it's about flow, confidence, and consistency. The techniques you've learned, thinking in English, using simple sentences, practicing every day, improving vocabulary, and accepting mistakes, are designed to train your brain and your voice. When you apply them regularly, hesitation disappears, your words come naturally, and your fluency grows stronger every day. Remember, fluency is built one step at a time. Each time you practice, you are strengthening your ability to speak smoothly, think quickly, and communicate confidently. Don't wait for perfection, start now, and keep moving forward. If this video helped you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more tips to speak English confidently and naturally.